On this episode, a new way to charge your mobile phone. Ingenious ways of walking the dog, or the dog walking you. As well as some kooky egg experiments. It's all excellent on another Very Kooky Countdown. Welcome to another Very Kooky Countdown, where this episode counts down the 10 kookiest inventions that we could find. Here at one of the world's largest exhibition of inventions, there's loads of kooky people and ideas for us to stumble across. Like this guy, Russian Evgeny Sobolev, who has invented a special umbrella holder worn on the head and waist. This kooky holder is made of 2 elastic straps and weighs only 100 grams. What's great about this invention is you can use your own umbrella. So whether you're into plain or black or colourful and patterned, they all work with this gadget. The main purpose of this invention is that you can free up your hands when it's raining and be able to do stuff while being protected from the weather by your umbrella. It's just one of many kooky inventions at this show in Geneva.
It's true that when we walk with crutches and we need an umbrella, this could help.
It's pretty funny because I've tried to find this for 10 years because umbrellas are difficult to hold. Our arms get tired. But my idea was more simple than that. What better way to start our show than with this totally kooky contraption? At number 9 on another kooky countdown, we're looking at inventions, and here's a cool can, literally. This South Korean company is hoping a newly developed self-cooling can will help quench thirsts all over the world. It's pretty easy. Simply open the can and wait just 15 seconds. Presto, you can drink your icy cold drink without having to have it stored in a refrigerator. The inventor, Soo Won-kil, hopes his invention, the self-cooling drink can, can find its place on the world's soft drink can stage. When consumers want a drink, open the can and let it cool down to the temperature which they want within 15 seconds and drink it. That is the concept of this invention. The inventor claims these are the first cans ever to cool within seconds after being opened. The can contains a tiny steel tank with a refrigerant and a piped aluminium coil, which releases gas generated from the tank to the outside when opened. My company will try to introduce it into the beverage market before the World Cup finals. The product was first launched for the World Cup in Korea, and Soo says the technology is cost-effective. Apparently, it costs just 8 cents per can to produce. That's 1 cent more than a common aluminium can. He also claims the can is environmentally friendly and safe for consumers because it uses a harmless coolant. The World Cup is the biggest sporting event in the world, and Soo sees this as the perfect opportunity to promote his product. The World Cup, perfect. Thousands of people sitting in a stadium looking for an icy cold can of drink. The self-cooling can works with all beverages, including soft drinks, juices and iced teas. Basically anything that's already in a can can be self-cooled with this kooky product. Soo has his work cut out for him now and is talking to some of South Korea's top drinks makers, as well as steel companies, hoping that the big business pick up his cool idea. One company, Lotte Chilsung, which has around 40% of South Korea's soft drinks market, says it's reviewing a plan to use Soo's invention. This would obviously make Soo a very happy and very rich man. Retailers say they would welcome the product, saying they would save having to run refrigeration in their stores.
By making it handy, we are able to drink it anywhere so that it is more convenient than others.
Oh, just think of the places you can take this drink can. To the races, on holidays, on a plane, just about anywhere you can imagine. no person should ever be without an icy drink again. It's full steam ahead with this kooky invention to get it out there and into people's lives. At position number 8, here's a scooter that you just need to give a bowl of food and a little tummy rub, and she'll tow you to work. Now this is walking the dog.
The guys sitting in the restaurant drinking beer, they're all yelling mush, which I see as a compliment, because people love to see dogs doing some kind of productive work.
We've heard of flat sixes, V8s, but now here's the world's first canine-powered machine, and it adds a whole new meaning to 4 on the floor.
Most of the time people just smile and they look back. So, sometimes I hear, great things like, that's the coolest invention I've ever seen. That guy's gonna make lots of money.
It's taken Mark Schuette nearly a year to develop this machine, which drew quite a few looks when he took it out for a run on Venice Beach recently for our show.
If you have a dog that always has a taut leash and they're out in front of you pulling, that's about the same amount of force needed to keep this scooter at speed.
The scooter is now being sold around the world for around $500 US.
When I first saw it, I thought, well, is this cruel to these dogs? Are they, working them? It's something that's just some gag and it's, hard for them. But after he let me take a ride, she just seemed like she was having an easy time at it, and it was no problem for her. It's fun, it's smooth, it's cool.
I've quite often seen people getting tangled up on bikes with their dogs, and the dog is safe there. It's quite easy to steer him, and I've quite enjoyed it actually.
These punters are very impressed with the scooter, and Schuette says he always gets lots of positive feedback. He sells about 1 scooter per month, but says he has no plans to mass market the machine. It's all pluses for this form of transport. Environmentally friendly, no carbon emissions, but just remember to pick up after your ride. Coming up, it's hair up, new wave golf tees and mobile phone charging like you've never seen. Welcome back to another Very Kooky Countdown and our Inventions edition. At number 7, here, a young British designer has invented a machine to boil eggs without using water. A little like one of our earlier inventions, the self-cooling can, could this invention revolutionise the way we eat our breakfasts before work each day?
Personally, myself, I found standing over the pan of boiling water quite laborious and uninspiring first thing in the morning. So to have a product that you could just switch on, maybe be aesthetically pleasing when it was working, but at the same time you could go off and leave, that was always a bonus. But with this one, the whole process is fully automated, so it's literally a case of a few buttons, go off, come back, and it even cuts the top off for you. So it takes all the, if you can call it, stress out of boiling an egg.
Yeah, I've always found it really stressful to boil an egg, so I'm tipping this kooky invention will change lives, especially mine. It could be seen as an invention born out of laziness, or perhaps a response to the old adage that university students are hopeless at all things practical, including cooking. Simon Rhymes claims his motivation was a mixture of both.
With Simon, what we've done is we would give him advice on how to market the product, what he would need to do to market it, who he should contact. We usually advise go in at the top and put your flyers and product details through to the chief executive. It's then usually fed down to the relevant person within the organisation, who would then contact either us or Simon. In the majority of cases, it's in Simon in his case, who would then call him in to be able to demonstrate the product.
The invention cooks the egg using light power. It uses heat from halogen light bulbs to cook an egg to perfection, and the inventor sees his labour-saving device changing the way we cook in the modern-day kitchen. Simon plans to set up his own company and start worldwide distribution.
When I first told my mum I was going to make a boiled egg maker, she thought, okay, that's a good idea, and then I came back to her a few weeks later and said, oh, I'm not going to use any water. So she was panicking for a while that she thought I was going to ruin my degree after 3 years of cooking for me. Like, while I was at uni, so she was a bit worried there. But once I showed her a few test rigs, I got her on side, and she's my biggest fan at the moment.
She was also worried he was going to burn the house down, but in the end it all turned out okay. 23-year-old Simon developed the egg maker as a final year project for his university course, which he received a great mark and an excellent from his lecturer. The countdown continues with our number 6 spot and a British invention called the Lindsay clip. Here's a new approach to hair clips, and it's proving to be a continuing and growing success worldwide. What's it all about, I hear you say? Yeah, I agree. What is it all about? Hopefully Lindsay Walker from the company can tell us.
What we've actually designed, or invented if you like, is a way, first of all, to disguise the springs on the butterfly clip, because they're very unsightly. In addition to that, the ears of the butterfly clip normally dig into the back of your head, and we've now got rid of that problem too. We made it cylindrical, which is an additional bonus, if you like, and it makes the clip look much, much prettier too.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than when your butterfly clip digs into the back of your head. I always thought butterflies were gentle, friendly and carefree creatures. Obviously not. This invention replaces the traditional butterfly clip and uses a unique gripping mechanism to help put up long hair with comfort and style in mind.
Well, first of all, you can run to the bus without the problem of it sort of falling off or anything like that. It doesn't slip. Once it's in, it's in. You can lean back with any other clip, butterfly clip, that is to say. You can't. It feels good in the hair. It's comfortable to wear, and it looks pretty. So you can match different clips with different clothes, and there's a wealth of things you can do with this particular product.
The designers, Lindsay Walker and Shelley-Anne Salisbury, came up with the idea for the Lindsay clip in what they describe as a eureka moment 3 years ago. The women developed the clip to replace the traditional cumbersome butterfly clip and ultimately find an easy way to put up long hair.
Obviously, in the UK, labour costs are very high, so we had to come up with a lowest budget possible system to put the clips together using only, say, one man at a time. So what we came up with was a semi-automated assembly system to put the 8 pieces together, and we get, on each assembly fixture, we get one clip every 40 seconds.
It's fantastic to make something on your home territory. It brings back manufacturing into Britain, which is something that we're losing those resources rapidly. The last hair clip manufacturing, I think, in the UK was 1950, 1955. So we're bringing it right back to the UK, and hopefully this will spur all sorts of manufacturing to start again in the UK.
As we can see, manufacturing in the UK is not as easy as it used to be, with most products these days produced in China. But hats off and hair up to these entrepreneurial hair experts. Their company sold 3 million clips last year and hope to double it this year. At 4, well, actually it's number 5 on this kooky countdown, here's a new golf tee inspired by the view from the dentist's chair. Yeah, right, the dentist's chair. I think the gas has had an effect here. Apparently the problem with the traditional golf tee is that it's easily knocked out of the ground along with the ball, causing the player to lose concentration. There's a little more to it than that for my very wayward shots when playing golf. Well, while in the dentist's chair, this inventor, Dr. Willie Johnson, came up with a new way to solve his teeing problem. It also involves a little luck.
Turn an invention into a new business is a lot of extraordinarily hard work. Remember that most probably 10 in a million actually do see the light of day. A lot of imagination has to go into it, and luck.
While sitting in the dentist's chair, the good doctor's eyes wandered to a poster on the wall showing a diagram of a molar tooth, and there the idea was born.
Well, once the tee's in the ground, it's simple. It will take spin-off shots, which means longer, straighter shots. It will help alignment, and By staying in the ground, people will keep their head down longer, meaning a better strike on the ball.
The design has been tried and tested by amateurs and professionals alike, and they do like. The tee stands a better chance of staying put after the tee shot and not distracting the golfer.
The British are good at invention, I think because they are rather chaotic in nature. I don't think we're very organised. We're not the sort of like the Japanese or the Germans or anything. We rather tend to let our imaginations flower. And I think that's always been our great gift, if you like, to the world.
The good doctor is something of a master of inventions, with more than 100 registered patents to his name. So he, of all people, can afford to lose a few golf balls and tees. Here's our number 4 placeholder on our Inventions episode of another Very Kooky Countdown. And 2 electrical engineering university students in Kenya have invented a device that charges a mobile phone while riding a bicycle. We told you this was a kooky countdown, and this invention certainly looks kooky. Jeremiah Murumi and Pascal Katana have come up with an ingenious and very affordable way to charge a mobile phone in rural areas with no access to electricity. We're not really sure how the charged up mobile phone can connect to a network when there's no electricity, but the idea is good anyway. Both students in their 4th year of study at the University of Nairobi have come up with this kooky idea and were happy to share with us how it works.
Yeah, as the bicycle is being cycled as shown there, the dynamo produces the electricity required that is converted in our gadget to be in a position to charge our mobile phone, as shown with the movement of the battery.
The boys call their invention the smart charger, and they claim it could solve a huge problem.
I'm an electrical engineering student. I come from the remote village where there is no electricity, and I'm happy that we came up with a device that will be able to charge our phones using a bicycle.
Now for the pair to find a financial backer.
I hope we can get financial support so that we can mass produce our innovation so that they can go to the poor people to be able to charge their phone cheaply.
The mobile phone charger could be the solution to mobile phone charging problems for people living in rural areas who currently have to walk miles to the nearest source of electricity to charge their phones. When they arrive, they're charged around $5 to charge the phone from power provided by car batteries or solar power. Now they can ride and talk as much as they like. Up next, tips in road safety and saving some money while driving. Here's another environmentally friendly invention at number 3.
So we just launched a new program called Energy Conservation, EC, a new way of life.
Ego is a device invented in the Philippines that could save motorists up to 50% in fuel costs. An invention like this makes us all sit up and take note, as oil prices are at record highs and only look like going higher.
Yes, it does save fuel in the sense that when you burn all of the fuel, instead of the fuel being thrown out, it is converted into usable power by the car. So you save on the fuel.
The Ego was initially designed to help control pollution, but it proved efficient in saving fuel. For invention number 2 on the countdown, we go from drivers saving fuel to pedestrians being saved from drivers. At the World Exhibition of Innovation in Brussels, there were a few interesting displays dedicated to road safety. Inventor Tony Cavaleri decided to do something about pedestrian crossings, as he felt the number of people injured while crossing the road was too high. Every year in Europe, 9,000 pedestrians die and around 75,000 are severely injured. That's way too high. The most common factor in these incidents is visibility, as most accidents happen at night. The invention seems pretty simple. Make the driver aware they're about to cross a zebra crossing. The road itself and even strong lighting at zebra crossing become trivial nowadays. These seemingly ordinary lights create a danger. When on the contrary, a motorist sees a flash of light, it draws his attention and he will automatically have a reflex of slowing down. He will at least be aware of the fact that there is an obstacle on the road. The zebra crossing actually comes to life the moment it detects a pedestrian is about to walk over it. Panels in the road's surface and also around the crossing light up through photocells that detect the pedestrian. This brightly coloured activity quickly alerts motorists to the crossing. There is also a sound warning and more flashing lights to alert the pedestrians when it's safe to cross. Pilot tests with this zebra crossing will be conducted in Belgium, as well as in France, the Netherlands and the United States. Another great invention saving lives on our roads. We've made it to #1 on this episode of another Very Kooky Countdown. And here's a car that runs entirely on water.
What is inside here is water. And below the water is a simple reactor which costs only about 200 to 400 peso. And this reactor, if this is attached to the 12 volts battery, immediately in seconds it will produce hydrogen, oxygen. It split the water. And then what will come out here is the hydrogen. It's being sucked into the intake manifold and then direct to the intake valve and then goes to the piston.
The inventor, Daniel Dingle, claims that there is a big lack of government funding for this type of research that saves motorists money and the environment.
This is just the beginning, and there are a lot of improvements that we have to do. Like for example, the use of water. Kasi metal is subject to corrosion. So if we use water and hydrogen is derived from water, ultimately there will be some moisture within the components in the engine. And this could start corrosion. So it's really a good start, but there is still a long way to really have it popularized or to be used by everyone for the benefit of mankind.
Scientists have said that while the invention is great in theory, it's still not practical for everyday use. And with that, we come to the end of another episode of another Very Kooky Countdown. See you next time.